Hello, I'm Jaden Jaguar, and welcome to my show. I talk about games I like and other stuff, also known as whatever that says. Today, we're going to be talking about Persona 4.
Now, in case you never heard of a Persona game before, Persona 4 was released on July 10th, 2008 in Japan and on December 9th, 2008 in North America, and was met with great praise from fans and reviewers alike. Persona 4 is the 5th game in the Persona series, which is a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei and made by Atlus. Persona 3 came out 2 years earlier and was a huge change of pace for the Persona series. It added a calendar system and put a greater focus on school life. Persona 4 didn't make any huge differences, but instead built off what Persona 3 did, such as being able to control the other characters. Now, that's all really cool, but as a teenage boy, at the present, I wasn't really sentient enough in 2008 to actually play Persona 4. I got the game a lot more recently, but that story starts off on April 4th, 2017, when a little game known as Persona 5 came out. I had never heard of a Persona game until my older brother came up to me one day and told me about this game he was going to ask for his birthday called Persona 5. Before he got the game, I went to look into it a bit more, know what it was about, and I stumbled upon this Let's Play of Persona 4 by JohneAwesome. Those videos got me super excited for Persona 5, and let's just say when my brother eventually got it, I was watching him play right away. And without even touching the controller, I was hooked. Now, this video isn't about Persona 5, even though it might literally be my favorite game of all time. I was so enthralled by Persona 5 that after I played it, I went onto Amazon and ordered Persona 3 and Persona 4. The original, not golden since I didn't have a Vita, but do have the random PS2 my uncle gave me. Ever since I first heard of Persona, I had wanted to play Persona 4. But alas, Persona 3 arrived in the mail a day earlier, so I played that one first. But eventually, sometime in 2018, 10 years after the game came out, I played Persona 4 for the first time, and it was magical. In Persona 4, you play as the player-named protagonist, but to make things easier, we'll just call him Yu, which is his official name. Yu has just moved into Inaba, a small fictitious rural town with his uncle, who's a police officer, and his younger cousin. The town seems normal until strange murders start to take place, and Yu and his friends discover a world inside the TV. Since they're the only ones who know about the TV world, Yu decides to find the killer and put a stop to their crimes. Yu and his friends form a sort of Scooby-Doo mystery gang that can be pretty goofy at times. The game is a JRPG with life simulator elements that focuses heavily on story with around 80 hours of gameplay. The game is played on a calendar system where you can split your time between hanging out with your friends, working part-time jobs, raising skills, going to classes, and exploring the TV world to stop the killer from claiming more victims. You guys aren't entirely alone in the TV world because you also have manifestations of your psyche known as personas. These are basically weird demon monsters that you summon relating to your personality, or you can just think of them as stands from JoJo. These personas are really useful in fighting off the shadows that appear in the TV world, strange monsters that attack anyone who enters. The combat is turn-based, where you can choose between physical attacks the character can use, and different psychic and magic attacks personas can use at the cost of HP or SP, respectively. One of the biggest mechanics in the game is known as social links. Social links are bonds you form with the characters if you spend time hanging out with them that can help you create new, stronger personas, or sometimes help you out in battles. Carefully planning out your time and deciding what to do is crucial to being successful in Persona 4. Now that that's out of the way, this video is about why I love Persona 4 and why it's such an amazing game. And there are so many reasons for why I love it. It has fun gameplay, an interesting storyline that makes players want to solve the mystery, and how it borrows many themes from Jungian psychology, and well, yeah, that stuff is great. The main reason why I love it is because of the characters. When I look back on my time playing the game, I just have this strong sense of nostalgia for these characters because they feel like old, close friends. I think one of the main reasons for that is how important the characters are to the story and themes of the game. Each of the characters are hiding how they really feel, and throughout the story, one by one, the characters are confronted with the truth about their situations by versions of themselves in the TV world. When they deny how they really feel, their shadow versions turn into monsters and try to kill the original. It's only after you save them that they finally accept who they are, and that character gets a persona. Every character except the player has to go through this, and it really helps you relate to them. Everyone is hiding something, a part of themselves they don't want to admit, and it's not until we can confront the truth that we really grow. As a side note, I think the intro does a really good job of showing an example of this. Near the end of it, it has a part where it shows all the characters through the lens of a camera or a screen, and it shows them putting on an act of who they want people to see, and I just think it's really cool. Not only that, but the social link mechanics let you learn more about the characters in your party, and also the other people around town. And it just helps you form connections with these characters, and when the ending song played and I had to say goodbye to my friends, I may or may not have cried a little bit. So, the main characters in the order that they join your team are Yosuke, Chie, Yukiko, Kanji, Teddy, Rize, and Naruto. While I think all of the characters are amazing and wonderful and fleshed out, obviously Yosuke is best boy. So let's talk about some of my favorite characters. Yosuke Hanamura is the first friend you make when you move to Inaba. On the surface, he's an outgoing, carefree guy who just wants to get the most fun out of life. He asks girls out and is even the most motivated to put a stop to the murders, since the second victim was a girl at his work that he had feelings for. But, I mean, this clip speaks for itself and I just love it, so let's just look at it.
I never had the chance to say it.
Is that Senpai's voice?
I always wanted to tell Hana-chan.
Huh? Me?
That he was a real pain in the ass.
It's so sad. I feel so sorry for myself. Boo-hoo! Actually, I'm the one who thinks everything's a pain in the ass. Huh? Two Yosuke's? Who are you? I wouldn't think that. Yeah, right. How long are you going to keep deluding yourself? Screw the shopping district, and Junes too. You're sick of everything, especially living out in the sticks. What are you saying? That's not true,
When I first saw all of that go down, I actually got chills. Something about what he was saying really struck a chord with me, I guess. That's why this game is so good, because usually you can relate to at least one of the characters. Later on in the story, Yosuke even comes to terms with his pessimistic outlook on life and starts to change because of his friendship with you. And he also calls you partner, and it's just super cute. It's hard to put into words why I like Yosuke so much, but I mean, his first scene is literally him falling into a trash can, so how can you not love him? So, this part is like mild spoilers if you haven't played the game. If you really care about not knowing anything about what happens in the game, I would skip to whatever time is on screen right now. But I mean, even I knew about this before I started playing, and it really doesn't impact your knowledge of the story. So now that that's out of the way, this part is about Naruto Shirogane. Naruto is an ace detective from a long family line of detectives, and for a majority of the game, you think she's a boy, but she's actually a girl. I don't relate to Naruto's character because she's someone who changed her gender because she didn't want people to look down on her. The police still don't take her seriously because she's a kid, even though she's literally helping them investigate the murders. She has to learn to accept herself even though it's hindering her career and causing people to not take her seriously. Before she joins your team, she's a recurring character that aids the police in their investigation of the killings, and the mystery gang thinks she's a boy until she faces her shadow. She always takes things a little too seriously, but that can lead to some funny moments. Her and Yosuke are kind of the only smart ones of the group, who always have to correct the other's stupid ideas. But honestly, she's just a really cute character and you always want to see her succeed, and she's 100% best girl. I will fight you if you disagree.
Here's another one.
The music in this game is so freaking good. The music in Persona 3, 4, and 5 all have a sort of theme for each specific game. In Persona 3, it's rap, and in Persona 5, it's jazz. But the music in 4 is J-pop, and oh boy, do some of these songs slap. It's hard to explain it, so let me just show you. The music always knows what it needs to be for a specific moment. From the amazing battle music that gets you pumped up, all the way to the sad somber music when someone is accepting their true self. There was no point in the game when the song feels out of place. The music of this game helps give it its amazing tone and aesthetic. Everything about this game, from the small town to the happy music, gives out this nostalgic feeling that I love so much. So I mentioned it in the music section a little bit, but this game oozes this nostalgic vibe that is just so hard to explain. Like, how can something be nostalgic if you're seeing it for the first time? I don't know, but Persona 4 is. I think a big part of that is because of the visuals. The main color of the game is yellow, and from loading screens, menus, to in-game stuff, yellow is everywhere. Now, I'm not a color expert or whatever they're called, but yellow is usually used to represent happiness, which is perfect for the game's lighter tone. Yellow is also my favorite color, so I think that helps. The game taking part in a small town also adds to the nostalgic vibe, and so does the motifs of old TVs. Even if the game doesn't have amazing next-gen graphics, being a PS2 game and all, it has this undeniable charm that sucks you right back into the TV world every single time. The game finds this perfect balance between normal high school life and the dangerous investigation of the TV world. Whenever you're getting a little bored of hanging out with friends and writing tests, boom, you and the mystery gang are heading into a TV. And when the grind of battles is wearing you down, you're right back to class the next day. The game is this amazing blend of genres that help elevate each other to the next level. It can be almost hard to explain how well a Persona game can do this without experiencing it yourself. Let's talk about the dungeon crawling part first. The turn-based combat, while not as fast and fluid as Persona 5, is still a blast to experience. Trying to figure out what enemies are weak to and remembering it for next time never gets old. Exploring through the randomized floors of the dungeon with the music playing is just so awesome to me. I have this really clear memory of going through the strip club dungeon when I had a snowy day at school. Just walking around and listening to the dungeon theme. I really don't know why, but it always comes to mind when I think about the game. But the best part about the TV world are the bosses. They're always teased beforehand on the Midnight Channel and throughout the dungeon, and when you finally get to them and the real person is standing there saying, "No, you're not me," and the boss music starts playing, it gets me every time. I love how long and stressful they can get. It just feels so awesome when you beat them. Okay, now on to the slice of life stuff. I know that playing a game going about normal high school life sounds lame, but for some reason it's not. Getting part-time jobs to make money, passing tests at school, and hanging out with friends is just so addictive. The game has this amazing mechanic called social links, where you hang out with certain characters and answer questions properly. It raises social link ranks from 1 to 10 to learn more about characters and gain buffs for battle. The game is all about planning your time so you can save everyone from the TV world, hang out with who you want to hang out with, and increase your stats by doing jobs or eating food. This careful planning and limited time in the game makes every decision count. Each part of the game feels connected to each other. Raising your stats by doing jobs and eating food allow you to increase certain social link ranks or meet new people. Those social links can power up your personas and party members to help you explore dungeons. Persona 4 is an RPG that is just so unique that there's nothing else quite like it.
In a very brief conclusion, this video wasn't trying to argue that Persona 4 is the best game in the world. It's just a simple video about why I love it so much and how it's impacted me. I hope that this video can help you understand why so many people love the game, or maybe why you like it yourself. Or maybe this can inspire you to go out and play it. Persona 4 is so many things to me, but if I had to describe it in just a few words, I'd say it's the happiest game about murders.